But notice the change. I mean, 20 porch lights are on, and some people, they're just getting into it, so they have to establish a new habit. So it's really more than 51%, and there was a time it was 95%.
That's the minimum, 51%.
Right, 51%
Yeah, I
is the
understand.
minimum. We hope for 100%.
Right,
Yeah,
and we had at
hope
least
for
95 in the
100%.
past.
Right.
Always. So.
I want you to, Rose, to kind of do something for me, and that's to look at the camera there and tell people to sign up and call us to be a coordinator for Neighborhood Watch.
Well, you know what? If they don't do that, they're missing out on a lot, because we're all interested in safety. Safety for our neighborhood, safety for our children. So actually, if you have the time, I would highly encourage you to get in touch with the police department, especially when this program is going to be reactivated. And that's really a very good thing. So I have to say, if you're at all inclined to have less crime in your neighborhood, and I'm sure we all are, just be sure to get involved. It's not that much. Once you get it established, everybody's going to become part of it. So that is what I really feel about the program.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Lieutenant, why don't you do the same thing on behalf of the police department, because you've been involved in Neighborhood Watch for over 20 years.
Right. I can't say it as eloquent as Rose did. It was very well done. But the most important thing that we have is call the police department. If you do have time, sign up for your neighborhood and be the eyes and ears for the police. Be able to report crime. Let your neighbors know that you're out there and everybody's working together, and just to make everybody feel safer.
Very good. Let's talk a little bit about some of the information that has come to our attention through Neighborhood Watch, based on your experience, Lieutenant. I mean, I'm sure you can go back over the years when Neighborhood Watch was really very active in Warren, and how we were able to arrest persons that were responsible for various crimes. Can you share a story or two with us?
Yeah, I think the best thing that came out of the Neighborhood Watch program is the neighbor that live in a certain area, they get used to seeing the same officer, and they feel trust and confidence in that officer.
Right.
And they'll tell you more things. They know what's going on in the neighborhoods. They know that the green van that's been there for the last 3 days doesn't belong there. They all talk to each other. They know that a certain person recently got out of jail and he's back in the neighborhoods. So by the confidence that is built between the community and the police officer through this program, will establish a trust that they will give you information that the normal officer won't get. They'll tell you what is really going on in the neighborhood. And when an officer just has the time to come out and take a police report, they really don't have that confidence or trust to tell you these things. So I think that truly, that I found for the 5 or 6 years that we worked community policing in that area, I think that was the most important thing. And then, of course, establishing relationships with, still 15 or 16 years later, I'm still going to weddings from the people that I worked in the neighborhood with. I still get invited back down for picnics that they have in the summertime. So I've established lifelong relationships just by working very closely with the people down there. So it's been a very rewarding experience.
Yeah. I have to mention too, while I can, that when we talk about crime, I want the residents of Warren to know that violent crime was reduced by 22% last year compared to 2007, and violent crime this year is down about 8% compared to last year. So I think that we have a better relationship than we've ever had before with the community. I think the men and women of the police department are doing an excellent job. The lieutenant is in charge of all the uniformed officers in the city, and I applaud what you're doing there, Lieutenant, as far as your people, because they're very visible. They're in the neighborhoods more than ever before. We're getting a lot of calls from the neighborhoods now saying, hey, we see police officers in our neighborhoods. In our neighborhood, we appreciate it very much. So even if we look at just like auto theft this year is down almost 25% compared to last year. So that's the positive things, but to keep it positive, we need the Neighborhood Watch, and we have to revitalize that. And it's so important today, because we also have had a major crackdown on drug houses in the city.
Right about that.
And we've conducted probably, what, about 75 search warrants that we've executed in the city. So we're kind of sending a loud, clear message, I think, to the criminal element that Warren is going to be one of the safest cities in the United States because the police department is working with the community is working with the police department, and that is so important.
And if I might add, that's why I hear residents say, gosh, what a difference here. Look at, they've cracked down on the drug houses and stuff. And I want to bring back one more point, which Darcy mentioned before, and that is when this program gets established, literature's given to all the people.
Yes.
Being that I had all these new neighbors move in, I went to City Hall and I grabbed a bunch of the sanitation guidelines, the yellow stickers for yard waste and so on, and a flag and whatever information I could get, and I presented that to each resident. And they were appreciative of that. But now when this general meeting occurs, for those people who might be interested, all that literature will be there, and I also gave them a copy of the numbers, the emergency numbers for the police department, the emergency service numbers, and in case, with some people moving in for the first time or not having ever been involved in the program, don't have this available. So it's a great program, and I'm happy to hear.
Okay. Rose, Lieutenant, we have less than 1 minute. So any thoughts before we close out, Lieutenant?
No, we need about 150 roses out there to get things rolling. We'll start off small. We don't have to start off real big.
Right.
But let's start off and really tackle certain areas and spread out from there. And we always applaud people like Rose who have done a fantastic job throughout the years for us.
Certainly do. And
well,
Rose?
I'd like to applaud you under your leadership for getting the program, and also Lieutenant, who has a big job.
Yes, he does.
This is a really big job.
Right.
But he's up to it.
Well, I'm going to see if I can get a raise.
That's a good way to ask right now. And I'm happy that the program is being reactivated. And I also want to tell you that mostly for me, over all the years, the program has been a force to reduce crime.
Right.
And safety in our neighborhood. And the biggest thing for me, as I mentioned to you earlier, is that it gives us the opportunity to meet our neighbors, to let them know, hey, we want this neighborhood to be safe, and it will be once we can get this going again.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Lieutenant. And thank you for viewing Police Journal. And remember, we're going to have a meeting very soon as far as signing up as a coordinator for Neighborhood Watch. So we'll be putting information out on that. So thank you again. Thank you for viewing Police Journal again, and stay safe.